All right, welcome back to Whiskey Tango Fishing, folks. We are getting ready for some thunderstorms later in the day, or so they say. So I figured I'd try and get out here for a few hours, get a few catches. And next week is getting ready to get into triple digits heat-wise. But I'll still be out here. We're going to start off today with a chatterbait. This is white with like a silver flake in the skirt. I've got a Hog Farmer Spunk Shad as the trailer. This color is called Ghost Minnow. So it's got a little darker smoke top. It's got some blue flake, some silver flake, black flake in it. The green pumpkin hasn't worked when I've tried it. The chartreuse hasn't worked when I've tried it. The red hasn't worked when I've tried it. So we're going to give the white a try here and see if I can produce anything here on the chatterbait. Now I'm throwing this on an NRX Plus bladed jig rod. So it is a technique specific rod by G Loomis. It's the 883C BJR, stands for bladed jig rod. It's a 7.4 fast action, medium heavy. It's rated from 3/16 to 5/8 of an ounce and 12 to 16 pound test. With chatterbaits, I try to stick around 8 to 10 pound test fluorocarbon. I just find that the action on the lure is a little bit better when you stay in that 8 to 10 pounds. You get up into 12 pound and higher, to me the lure doesn't perform as well and the action's not as good. The reel that I'm using is a Shimano Metanium DC, and I have paired to this. It's a low profile bait caster, works really well, and again it's one of those DC reels, so you hear that bzzz whenever you cast it out. That's the spool speed kind of charging up or powering the digital control chip that's inside the spool, and that kind of adjusts the brakes for you so that it reduces the likelihood of overrun and backlash. Does it eliminate it? No. It is still possible. Trust me, I know from firsthand experience. Did I get it bit? Yep, I got bit. There we go. Fish on. And see what I was doing? I was doing a regular, normal retrieve, and then I sped it up for about 3 or 4 revolutions, really cranked on it. And then when I slowed it back down, that's when this bad boy hit it. That's a nice start to the day. First one I got on a chatterbait in a while, partially because I haven't really used them that much. All right, not a huge fish, one, maybe 1 1/4, but pretty fish. Thank you for playing, sir. Let's get you back in the water, and you can go when you're ready. There you go. Thank you. That was a very polite departure. I appreciate you. All right, so that was a nice start. Let's see what else we can get out here. I hope there's not a repeat performance from yesterday's Godzilla versus Kong. If y'all saw that video, I was fishing a 12-inch jointed snake wake bait by Savage Gear. And as soon as it landed, it was about a 35 pound snapping turtle. Nailed it. Then he got one of the trebles in his foot too. And I reeled him all the way in, and I got him in the shallows, but beneath the muck in those shallows, it was all uneven rocks, right? That were between like softball and football size, right? All, you know, odd shapes and everything. So the footing was very uneven. And he was bracing just enough against it to where I couldn't pull him up onto the shore. And even the bank, climbing up the bank, there was an incline. And when I did have to pick him up, I picked him up under a shell, just forward of their hind legs. There's like a little shelf, and you can pick them up from there. If you pick them up from the tail, I mean, think about it. Their spinal cord runs, you know, from their brain all the way down along the top of their shell, right? Because their ribs and their spine is fused to the inside of the shell, and then it's connected to the tail too. So you don't want to pick them up by the tail. A small one might not bother them or do too much damage, but I still try to avoid it. Larger one especially, you don't want all that weight pulling on a tailbone, you know, in the spinal cord. So I lifted him up and went to carry him up the bank, and when I did, my line got tangled because I had set my rod off to the side, right? And when I turned with him and went to go up the bank, my line got tangled around my ankles, and I ended up falling. I thought he was going to land on my chest. That's all I could picture was him landing on my chest and then giving me a kiss. And then I wouldn't even have a face for radio then, right? But maybe I'd have half a face for radio, huh? And but I kind of let him go off to the left, and I made sure I fell to the right and got away from him. And then I got the hooks out of his mouth because he had bit the lure a second time after I got that front hook free. He bit the lure a second time, got the treble inside his mouth, but also snapped my 12-inch snake in half. And so I got that treble free. I got the one out of his paw. His paw was about the size of my palm, if not a little bigger. And then he wouldn't go back in the water. Like, he was just puffing up and building up, like, you know, it was kind of like a hiss and almost like a low rumbly growl. I don't know if it picks up on the camera. I hope it does. I'm gonna let it pause for a second. Now I'm gonna pull it in. But he finally went back in the water, but I had to like pick him up, kind of to scoot him forward a little bit, and then I was trying to use a stick to nudge him, and I didn't want to do too much damage, you know, to him. I didn't want to hurt him. He just had a really bad attitude, you know, after all I did for him, getting that hook out of him and everything. 2 hooks. He still was very ungrateful, but ended up using the stick and nudging him, and then he was like trying to go into the bushes instead of going back in the water. So I kind of flipped him a little bit with the stick, and he ended up on his back for a minute, and I had to flip him over. It was a mess. It was a mess. But Kong almost got beat again. Godzilla almost won that one yesterday, but I didn't want to lose my lure. I didn't want him going through life with body jewelry that he didn't really want. So I had to do what I could to try and get those hooks out of him. But I think if I run into one again, I'm a little better prepared. I didn't really trust grabbing him, you know, in front of his hind legs there, and lifting him up. I didn't trust that at first. But after doing it yesterday, I think I feel a little more comfortable. And I wouldn't hesitate as long as I could get a grip on him. Fish on. Stay on, stay on. That's a nice one. Nice fish, nice fish. I got you, Cletus. That's 1.5, 1 3/4. Say hi to the camera, smile. All right, thank you for playing. When you're ready, there you go. Have a great day. There are golf balls in the water all around me. And where the lake ends, on the top of that hill, there's a road. And on the other side, there's part of the golf course. If you're playing golf and you're getting balls all the way over here, you need to practice. Or find a different hobby. Because that's just crazy. Oh. Nice. There we go. Little guy. I mean, not bad, but not what I was hoping to catch. Little guy. Maybe a pound. Thank you for playing. I appreciate it. Go get your mama. Ask her to come out. Whoa. Fish on. Ooh. That feels like a nice one. Stay on. Stay on. Stay on. There, that's a nice one. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oof. All right, you got a mouthful of it. All right, dude. All right, one's out. One to go. Whew. 1 3/4, maybe 2. Thank you for playing, buddy. Appreciate you. When you're ready. When you're ready. There you go. Thank you. They've been real polite lately. Not splashing me in the face. They just go on about their way. Like, thank you for getting those hooks out of my face. Oh, fish on. Fish on. Stay on. Not a big one, but oh, decent. Little guy. I know. Nice frogs jumping. Thank you for playing, bud. You go when you're ready. Thank you.